We sent a press release out this morning advising that we are here conducting a search warrant at Miranda's Rescue, located on Sandy Prairie Lane in Fortuna. We are executing that search warrant with several state and federal agencies. The goal of the search warrant, and ordered by the judge, is to excavate several areas on the property where we believe have deceased animals. Also here looking for financial records, adoption records, business records, as well as other fruits to the crime of fraud and animal cruelty. So there's several investigators on scene. We plan on being here for today and through the next several days. And we'll be done when we believe that all evidence is seized from this location. This is a very complex investigation that many of you understand. It started on May 1st. It involved allegations of animal cruelty, where representatives from Miranda's Rescue have appealed to different shelters throughout the state and locally of being a sanctuary for animals. What was advertised is that they would take animals here and attempt to adopt them or train them and being able to house them on this property. And that was done for a fee, anywhere between $500 to several $1,000s per animal. Our records indicate through interviewing several shelters throughout the state that Miranda's Rescue from 2025 January until April, May of this year received over 900 animals from these shelters. And we were able to account for only 100 or so that have been adopted. We have 730 animals that are unaccounted for. And that's part of the reason why we are here today. This is, again, a very complex investigation. I want to thank the U.S. Attorney's Office from the Northern Division. The USDA has also sent investigators here. They also have forensic veterinarians that are here assisting us. We have the Attorney General's Office, representatives from the Department of Justice, and also investigators from the FBI and the local DA's office here assisting us. This is a fraud investigation as well as an animal cruelty investigation, and this takes time to develop. We are not a rush to judgment investigative agency. We are here to look at all sides and all angles. We received many reports from the public, and we're following up on those cases. But we are, again, limited to what we're able to say at this point in time. No one has been arrested associated with this case. It's still a very open and active investigation, and we are here to interview any witnesses and anyone that has any information related to this case. I'm not talking about the ongoing investigation. At this point in time, we have a search warrant for this location, and we're focusing on this location first.
Sheriff, when the first dog carcasses were handed over to the sheriff's office, there was an indication that some of them had bullet holes. Can you say if any of the others, upon investigation, were found to have been shot?
Any of the others? You talking about others of the initial animals that were turned over?
How many of the 8, I guess, is what I'm wondering. And did you have any, have you recovered any others since then?
We have not recovered any others. Those are still in evidence right now, and to my knowledge, they have not been. What is the status of those animals right now? Have they been reviewed as far as autopsy goes? As far as the 8 that are with the animal shelter? We're still holding on to those, correct? Yeah. So at one time, or at some point in time, we will get to those autopsy and to figure out the cause of death and what they were, how they died.
Can you also talk about, you mentioned that you've been able to confirm adoptions for 100 some odd.
Yeah, 116.
Can you talk about the methodology for how you're confirming those? And I don't know if you can address what Shannon Miranda has had to say about the fate of those dogs.
I'm not going to comment on what Shannon Miranda said. And as far as the records that we have, that were records pursuant to the search warrants and other records that we have uncovered, those are what we can confirm right now. Again, we have over 700, we have 731 unaccounted for animals. And so we would like to account for those animals.
And what's the plan for the animals that are here?
Yes. So I think it's really important that people understand that this is a sanctuary. It's an unregulated sanctuary. there is no certification, there is no license, so the state can't simply revoke a license and say you can no longer be a sanctuary. So he's allowed to have animals. He's allowed to have animals on his ranch, in his sanctuary, and operate his business at this time. He has not been criminally charged, and so this is, he's allowed to operate his business at this time.
All right, and what would be the steps or what evidence would you uncover that would kind of stop his business from happening, stop him taking in new animals?
So we are the ones that are going to be the fact finders. Our investigators are looking at the facts, and that we will turn those facts over to our district attorney, the attorney general, and the U.S. attorney. At that point in time, if they believe that there's sufficient evidence to charge a crime beyond a reasonable doubt, then it's going to be up to them to be able to determine that, and then at that point in time, a charging decision would be made.
Can you talk a little bit about, you have multiple agencies, like what are the various roles of all of
Sure.
those agencies?
Right. So there's federal laws and there's state laws. And when we initially started this investigation, we reached out to our state partners and our federal partners. And so we received a lot of interest in trying to assist us with this case. The Animal Welfare Act is a federal law, and there's specific regulations in the Animal Welfare Act that the USDA is very interested in, and that's why they are here. That's why the U.S. Attorney's Office is involved. There's also the Crush Act as a part of the federal government. And so those are federal laws that the FBI and the USDA are here looking at and are interested in. Then we have our state attorney general is interested in the state local charges related to animal cruelty, related to fraud, theft, those kind of things. And so those are the cases that we're looking. It's different laws, and that's why we're here with so many investigators doing what we do.
And for the bodies that you're recovering, the horse you said you found, the dog potentially, or the smaller animal that you found, what will happen with those bodies?
We will be taking the dogs. We will be essentially taking them as evidence. We have a refrigerator truck that we are going to store those in. But initially what's going to happen is once they're out of the hole and out of the area where they are uncovered, we are going to have our state licensed, our licensed veterinarians that are licensed in doing these autopsies on animals are going to do an autopsy on what they can here in the field and determine what we can as far as the cause of death. And then again, tomorrow we're going to have an x-ray machine here looking for any signs of cause of death, as well as looking at the chips and trying to document everything. So every dog that we uncover, every animal we uncover is going to be documented. Evidence is going to be documented and then seized and then held.
And then, will it be taken to the sheriff's office, or?
It'll be taken to the sheriff's office, and it depends on how many that we do find here today. We will be storing those in a storage container, which will be refrigerated, and then until we can do a full autopsy to determine what the cause of death.
And with the animals, I know a lot of the allegations have been about him taking in dogs, receiving money for it. But has that expanded? Are you going to look at the other animals that are potentially missing, the cause of death for that horse, for example, or is it just kind of limited to the dogs at this point?
At this point, we're looking at all potential charges here. We're focusing on the dogs because that's the initial complaint, and the victims throughout the state are the shelters that were defrauded, and so those are our true victims, and so they would like us to pursue those charges. Again, there's 900 animals, and there's several shelters that have sent several hundred animals to Miranda's rescue since January. That's just since January, right? We have not tracked the animals so far before January 2025. And again, this is a big case that involves a lot of different victims throughout the state, and Hawaii. And so that is something that needs to be addressed on the state level. I hope that this case opens the eyes of many people and are able to, have spay and neuter clinics that are able to go and help people spay and neuter their animals, so we don't have an overpopulation of animals here in the state. And so that is one thing that I hope can come out of this.
Last question, sorry, about the state of the animals that are here. I have seen like animal control has been here. Like, are they okay? Are they
Yes.
healthy? Let us
Yes.
know how the animals are doing that are here.
Yes, so I think the number is around 50 now. 50 dogs are still here. There's cats here, there's birds here, and the dogs are being seen 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with our animal control staff, as well as the veterinarians coming in. We are weighing those animals, we are documenting those animals and their current condition. There were a couple animals that were underweight, and as anyone understands the shelter, there are sometimes that an animal does experience kennel stress and is constantly moving and needs to be fed more, and needs to be paid attention to more, needs to get out of the kennel more. And so we've identified a couple of those, and staff here have relocated them, are feeding them more, and they are looking better. So we are keeping track of those, and then that's part of what we do. And Miranda's has allowed us to do that, and so we're definitely keeping track of it.